Hey, good morning. What's up, guys? And thanks for tuning in and welcome to another weekly crypto market update. This is Setup Saturday, and as always, I'm here with Zero Cool. How are you?
Good. Ready for the debasement trade of our lifetime?
Bitcoin, you mean?
And a little bit of gold, I guess. But
All
mainly
right.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's why we're here, mainly Bitcoin. So, the schedule of the show is so we're going to talk, like always, macro to understand Bitcoin's price movements. Then later in the show, as always, Zero Cool will do some Bitcoin technical analysis, also some total one you said, total two, maybe some XPL plasma TA. But then, of course, we also have yesterday Hamas that agreed to end the war in Gaza. There's also a lot of crypto news that we had this week, so I'm going to cover that as well. And of course, the biggest news at the moment, and let me share my screen. So we have the US government that is in shutdown. So they entered the shutdown after failing to pass a funding resolution. Let me go back to
Bullish.
And it's bullish. So we're gonna go over it why it's bullish, and well, it's not mega bullish, of course, but the thing is, it doesn't really matter. Yesterday, I saw this. They tried again to pass the funding bill, and it shut down as well, so it didn't go through. So the government is still shut down at the moment. So to not get into it politically, this is an investment stream. So let's see what we can do to protect our assets and if it's a good time to buy actually or not. So if you look at this table, normally on the S&P, it doesn't really matter. So the US stocks don't really change anything. So here you can see the returns during a shutdown. And actually, the last shutdowns of the last 30 years are actually bullish during the shutdown. It's rarely not bullish. Well, maybe 6 years ago it was bearish, but at the moment, I think with everything we have, the Fed has a lot of levers. They can print money, they can lower interest rates. The market sees a shutdown as bullish. In the week afterwards, it's also bullish according to the last two shutdowns. But as you can see, it's never super bearish. So nobody really cares, to be honest, if the government is shut down or not. Also, because it usually lasts a very short amount of days. As you can see here, it's not that bad. It's not as in Belgium, for example. I think in Belgium we have the world record of a government shutdown.
I think we had the world record or have the world record at one point. Yeah, it's 300 something days.
Yeah, so
very impressive.
And then, of course, here you can see it better. This is from Augur Infinity. They charted it, and so usually on average, it goes up the market by about 1%. So do with it what you will. To be honest, don't base your investment decisions based on this. But I felt that I had to cover it because it's the biggest world news at the moment. So, and this is how
it's neutral, basically.
It's neutral. So this is how the stocks react, and as we all know, Bitcoin reacts kind of like the S&P, but I think better. So I think for Bitcoin, this is actually better because, of course, a government shutdown shows that fiat and politics are unstable, and that's really why Bitcoin was created. So that's why Bitcoin went up higher than the S&P, as we saw. Next up, I have, so this is from the Kobinski letter, and he explained it also very well. So the average shutdown is 8 days, as we just saw. The S&P has ended higher 1 year, of course, but because the S&P usually goes up 1 year later, so that's why I preferred this one where it showed during and 1 week after. What else does he say? Yeah, doesn't matter. And that's the thing here. The Fed generally turns more dovish if government data releases are paused. So that's the most important thing. How does the Fed react? And as we know, we got a Fed decision later this month. So this is super important. If the government shutdown lasts, the Fed will generally has more chance to lower the interest rates.
I do want to quickly touch on point 5 that you said it doesn't matter. The whole idea of why things aren't crashing is because the problem is debt, and during a shutdown, they're not spending, so they're saving 400 million a day. Quote unquote.
Yes, but I think they have to they will pay it afterwards anyway. So they're just not paying now, but they will do it afterwards.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's what I've read. So the most important thing is, to be honest, the Fed that's more likely to cut interest rates. For the rest, it doesn't really matter anything. And then, like I said, for Bitcoin, because this is more crypto stream, for Bitcoin, it is actually a good thing because that just shows the people that the fiat and politics are just unstable and that we need a currency with no people involved, basically.
Yep.
So let me look at the interest rates. So as I said, this spiked up and now we have almost 100% chance of another rate cut on the 9th of October.
Into rising inflation, into all-time high stocks, into all-time crypto, all-time high gold. Amazing.
That's what we like.
All right. I don't say if I would like it. If you look back at history, it's foreshadows like what was it, the 70s that we pointed at 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think 3 weeks ago, where we had the 70s and the current inflation charts on top of each
roaring
other.
70s.
The back end of the 70s, where everything topped and started to crumble. It is worrisome that you're cutting into all-time highs, but it is what it is. It's good on the short term.
So we got G Armo in chat as well. So hello, G Armo, welcome to the stream. So moving on. So like I said, the most important thing isn't the shutdown, so it doesn't really do much. The most important thing is how the Fed reacts and of course liquidity into the system. So let's go over right to global liquidity. At the moment, global liquidity is really not doing anything. It's just neutral. And the reason why it's neutral is, so the bullish thing is that the PBOC is still in liquidity expansion, and that's a very good thing. We have Chris in our Discord, that's a real China bull. And so China just started their bull market because they are printing, and they're printing much more than the US. Of course, the falling bond market helps as well.
Yeah.
But then the reasons why it isn't going up is mostly because of the US dollar. So the US dollar made a little rebound. And this is not good for global liquidity, of course. The Fed is still in tightening mode, and also the Bank of Japan is also tightening. So that's why global liquidity at the moment isn't going up, and this is worrisome to me. And I think this is one of the reasons. And let me show the Bitcoin chart real quick. Why we cannot pass this 120K all-time high? I think it's because there is just not enough liquidity into the system to push through all-time high.
To blast through it, that's true.
That's a problem, in my opinion.
You always want to blast through all-time high with volume, right? If you have like a little volume spike and it fades off, that's not sustainable, and that will roll over.
Exactly. And if there is no liquidity, it's just impossible to do this. So we have to hope on better news. And a good news story I have next on is actually the Hamas story. So Trump set a deadline on Sunday. So the deadline was on Sunday for Hamas to agree to end the war. And I got his truth right here. I'm not going to read everything, but he said, this is the last chance. If not reached, all hell like no one has ever seen before will break out against Hamas. And then, of course, so they had to respond by this Sunday, 6 p.m. But I think they responded just immediately, and they agreed to parts of Trump's Gaza plan, because all over Twitter I saw, they agreed. No, they only agreed to parts of it, which was the thing what Trump wanted, that they released all hostages that are alive. And that's what they're going to do. So they will release the hostages. The US is not going to invade Hamas. And now they will start having peace talks, which in my opinion is always good for stocks. I think right after Hamas agreed to release hostages, I think the S&P went up in pre-market. I don't know if you followed that.
No, I don't think I was following, especially not pre-markets. But yeah, less war is good. It's good for society. Obviously. It's good for humanity. So it's good for everybody, regardless of the stock price, right?
Yeah. And then another thing as well, what I have from Trump, we posted this in Discord as well. So Trump again floats the idea of 1,000 to 2,000 stimulus checks from tariff revenue. And we all know what happened last bull market when the US released stimulus checks. So I don't have to say it because everyone knows the market just went parabolic. So in my opinion, this is... So a lot of people are saying this is bad because that caused massive inflation and everything. But so this didn't pass yet. And two, this is just from tariff revenue. So I think it won't be as bad as last time, because last time they just did it with printed money. Now they will just do it with revenue they earned from tariffs. So which is totally another thing. But we know if you give $1,000 to $2,000 to people in a low income bracket, they will just use it to gamble.
Yeah, absolutely.
On altcoins.
Well, in general, gamble. A lot of it flows to crypto. It won't be all crypto. It will also be like Robinhood and stocks, lottery tickets. But in general, if you give the lower society or lower class society with lower income free money, the chances that they invest it correctly is low. They'll gamble it away. It's basically like a shock to your economy, right? You're injecting loads of money in the lower layer in hope to like revitalize the economy. People will go eat out. They'll do some more shopping, especially with Christmas around the corner. This is perfect to buy your Christmas presents for people. So this is like quantitative easing. Can't have more quantitative easing than injecting this into your economy, right?
So, but the thing is, this didn't pass yet. He just floated the idea around. So I don't know if he's serious or anything. But this would be good for altcoins, because the thing is, like we just looked at global liquidity, this is not good for altcoins. If there will be no more liquidity into the system, I generally tend to go and sell my altcoins. But then again, if this passes, it's super good for altcoins. So now it's a little bit of a tough situation we're in at the moment. I really don't know what we're going to do. I talked with Zero Cool before the stream, and we're not clear yet on where the market is going to go in Q4. So to me, everything is pointing at a neutral market. I'm going to go over the news real quick. So this is all the latest crypto news, and this was super important, and nobody really talked about this. But to me, this is actually a super bullish catalyst. So the Treasury so the Treasury Department is preparing to exempt crypto holdings from the corporate alternative minimum tax. So from 15%, they will go to 0%. And this is taxed on unrealized gains. And this is super good for companies like, for example, Strategy, who has, of course, a lot of unrealized gains with all their Bitcoin holdings. And normally they had to pay 15% tax on it, how I understand it. And now this will just go to zero. So this will, in my opinion, incentivize much more larger US companies to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And so, of course, this is super bullish. I really don't know why not more people talked about this.
Because it's economy and macro stuff and not Bitcoins or charts.
Yeah.
I agree. Super bullish.
And then another news I saw as well, which is also super bullish, is that Samsung adds Coinbase crypto access for 75 million Galaxy device users. And what the article says is that they will give free access to Coinbase One, which includes zero trading fees and increased staking rewards. So this is also super good for adoption. And I feel like Coinbase is really thinking that a big retail wave is coming up, because they're doing a lot to incentivize retail. I also saw, what was it? Someone posted this in Discord the other day.
From Coinbase, the charter thing?
That they're going to put 10% API on altcoins or something, or on USDT. It was something like this. So they really incentivizing, they really want the market share.
11%.
How much?
11% even, yeah.
Okay. So that's the thing. Sometimes it's really hard as an individual person to understand where the market is going. You can look at everything, but of course, institutions like Coinbase, they will probably know it better than you do. So you can just look at what they're doing. If they are thinking a massive retail wave is coming, and you can know it by giving 11% APY, by giving access to all the Samsung users. So if Coinbase thinks an alt season or a retail buying season is coming up, to me, that sounds bullish.
Yep, I agree. They also went after a charter, I believe. So now in every single state, they have to follow the rules of the state. So there's like, 50 states, so 50 different rules. Most are the same, but not all are the same. They're going after I think it's called a charter, I'm not 100% sure, that they can use one rule set for every state, meaning way more adoption, way more less legal work to individually go over the states, which is also a big push towards crypto adoption, right?
All right. Another thing that also happened this week was the FTX Creditor Recovery. So we know in total it's 16 billion that was going to go back to investors, and now I think it was this Monday, the 30th of September, that FTX distribute 1.6 billion to creditors. So as I always say, this is liquidity back into the markets. There's a big chance that this 1.6 billion will flow into altcoins again. So this is also another bullish thing that happened. Of course, 1.6 billion is not that much, but it's just one thing on top of all the other things.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's making it super difficult. Like I said, global liquidity is not doing anything, but the rest is kind of pointing in a bullish direction. So who knows? But then now the thing, what of course I had to say on this stream is the seasonality, because we are in October. And of course, it's super weird that September was green, because this is only the 5th green September in Bitcoin's history. And what we know about this is that when September is green, October and November are always green when we see a green September.
Mm-hmm.
So this is bullish, and not only in Bitcoin. When you look at the S&P for the last 10 years, we are at the moment normally where the dip has happened, and we should go up for the remainder of the year at the moment. So the S&P is bullish seasonality, Bitcoin is bullish seasonality. So I'm thinking for an October. And what is it? October? What? I sent you a video about this. It was October Bullsember or something. I don't know.
I don't remember. It's gonna be an up quarter basically.
Yeah. So Rage Jedi is in chat as well. So good morning, Rage Jedi. How are you doing? Then so let me see if I got something more. I think it's up to you, Zirkle. So yeah,
I think I have total charts loaded up. So total, just in general, this total money in crypto. It's
so that's everything: Bitcoin, Ethereum, stable coins.
Yeah, everything. It swiped all-time high on Friday, and then bounced a bit. I think the last push was ASTER, the Binance decentralized exchange from CZ, that really gained traction. With obvious wash trading volumes of like 10 times hyperliquid, just to like draw in the unsuspecting people, and Bitcoin, of course, making a push. So yeah, we made a new all-time high, but it really didn't sustain. It bounced, it rejected a little bit. Fairly bullish, I would say. Shall we hop in Bitcoin or do alts first?
Let's start with Bitcoin.
All right, so share this tab instead. There we go. I think this was from 2 weeks ago, where we said we'll grab some liquidity and then most likely go into our Senta rally. Now our Senta rally is like accelerating. This is way faster than I thought. It take like at least 2 weeks.
Those your tickers maybe, so we can see the whole screen.
Oh, yep, there you go. Good point. I think this is the chart from 2 weeks ago. I think the chart from last week had some more levels below. We got the liquidity. We went up, for me, above 118,000, like above here, idling here. Sky's the limit. The only thing that I'm a little fearful of is volume dying out. Can I see volume here? No, because it's the overall crypto chart. Hold on. Let me grab a fresh chart. There we go. This is Coinbase. The bottom, you can see the volume like trending down a little. There's not an uptick. The blue line is the smoothed out average, I think. It's not pointing up, right? So it's dying out a little sus. It's weekends. We always say in the weekends, lower volume. I did see that the CME is gonna make weekend 24/7 weekend trading available. So rest in peace, TradFi, who can sleep in the weekends if they're doing crypto. That also means that CME gaps that form over the weekends will no longer be a thing, and that is a strategy that a lot of people successfully use. So that's a little bit of edge removed out of the market. But for me, TLDR above 118,000, above 115,000, bullish as fuck. Let's sky's the limit. Only thing I'm not super fan of is like how fast it's going. I would have expected it to be more like a slow run up. I just went vertical straight away.
We really pumped on the government shutdown. It's crazy.
Yeah, and also more on like the tax news, like you said. That's also a big one. I think might not have gotten mainstream attention on crypto Twitter, but it is a big one, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you look at our Discords, the money printer channel where you
Yeah. Stable coins.
Stablecoins, where the bot posts if stablecoins are being printed. The last 4 or 5 days, it's 3-4 posts a day for millions. So a lot of stable coins being added, and that's liquidity that we were talking about that we need.
True.
Yeah, above 115,000 ish, bullish. Sky's the limit. All-time highs by end of year. We're like a sneeze away from all-time high, but 128, 140, and people are targeting 200,000 already on crypto Twitter. So sky's the limit for me at the moment.
If you want, we can. Do you want to do some other charts, like maybe, for example, XPL?
Yeah, let's go to XPL. I think we use this one.
Use this one. This has more data. Yeah.
Yep. I think when we were over here. No, last weekend was here. I think when we were here, we're saying, "Oh, this is your base," and like this. That's what we charted last week. This is obviously where I bought. Nice underwater bag at the moment. Not too worried about it. Jack did a very in-depth video about it, like over half an hour long. Go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. It's full of information. I'm not going to spoil what I'm not going to spoil what the TLDR is. You need to go see it. But I bought here, and I will buy more in the coming days. I think I'll just DCA in the rest I have, and yeah, it's a product.
Can I share my screen real quick? So just to ask your opinion on how I did it. So basically, since there is not much data yet on the chart, I mostly used the Fibonacci channels. So what I did was I used here Fibonacci channel, and then also one horizontal Fibonacci retracements. And if you look at it, and this is also the daily support. So I think this is a very, very good buy zone. One, it bounced very good here on the midline. So I bought here some actually. Well, I also bought a bit higher up, but like I said in my video and on latest live stream that I was going to DCA. So I DCA'd here a little bit as well. And I think this is a very good buy zone as well as lower and here lower as well. So I don't know what you think about these Fibonacci channels.
Fibonacci retracement, absolutely. Fibonacci channel is not something I ever used in like looking for channels.
Well, it's just like a channel basically with the midline. So
yeah, would it be Fibonacci? I guess you got your top and your bottom with the middle one. So I guess it's Fibonacci. Yeah, green box or buys. I think if we come down, because there's not 0% chance that Bitcoin retraces a little bit, like a last little shakeout before we actually take off. Because sure, October is the meme, but to go full gas from day one is a little sus. But then again, let's rationalize it, right? If it's a bull market, you'll never get the entries you want. It will always keep pumping, and there will be small retracements, but never to the levels where you want, and where like you put a level on your charts, another person's going to put the same level, give or take. If we're in a bull market, it's never going to touch that level. It's just going to keep going up. So if it gets there, be wary. That's all I have to say about it. I think it's a good level to buy, regardless.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to say about XPL and Plasma is that I said on my video that there weren't really any competitors who were doing the same with 0 fees. And then now just yesterday or today, actually, is Coinbase that said sending money should be as simple as sending memes. So we made it easier to move crypto around the world. Now you can send USDC instantly to anyone with just a phone number, no limits, no fees, no borders. So now Coinbase is doing exactly the same. I don't know how the UI is going to be and if it's really going to be easy for older people as well. But so Coinbase introduced this as well. At the moment, I didn't see much of it. Not many people using it, but they just announced it. And this is not good for XPL, in my opinion, because XPL really had the first mover advantage and the only one that was doing no fees, stablecoin transfers to get main how do you say it, mainstream adoption. But now Coinbase is doing it as well, and they're probably gonna execute on it well. So
Yeah,
that's the only negative part for XPL, in my opinion.
our recurring theme during this stream is also something that I echo on the Discord often, is that Coinbase is really working towards being a everything company, being a bank, being your place where you invest, place where you hold your crypto. So if you want exposure to crypto, I think you need to have Coinbase in your portfolio.
That's what I wanted to say. So then again, I have XPL, like I said, but I also have actually, I think I have 5 times more Coinbase stock than XPL. So to me, it's fine if Coinbase is going to
Yeah,
outperform.
but it's easier to onboard stocks into your portfolio than it is crypto, right? Because there's written laws and you need to report your store. Stock holdings are being auto-reported to the government, stuff like that. It's legal framework around stocks is easier to deal with on a level perspective than crypto. Of course, not for $50 or $100 or even $1,000, but if you go like 10, 100,000 or like into the millions, not that we go into the millions, by the way, stocks is a more logical choice at the moment still, even though there are ETFs. Yeah, so own a little bit of Coinbase. It's so I would say I'm also pretty heavy invested in Coinbase. It's something I'll cut in hard if we go to the levels I want from here. I think 750, 1,000 is like the ultimate top that I ever see for Coinbase. Pretty short term, even.
Yeah, it's
that's where I'm
possible.
going to trim. One more thing, XPL, before we forget and move to another coin. 1 second. I have different tab here. This tab is the funding rate.
That was important.
Yeah. Pretty green all time along. If you see stuff like here, yeah, this is not where you. I would say out of the gate, it's not where you buy, but it put on another leg, right?
What is that candle?
This here, yeah. This if we zoom in, you see it is pretty like somebody turned on their twop to buy, I think. And I think we can see where it is coming from. The highest one is Kraken. Doesn't surprise me. Oh no, actually it's Woo.
Didn't you say Bybit?
Yeah, Bybit jumped the most, I think, like from 0.01 to 0.035. This is a big jump, but if you look at Woo here, a lot of like 0.2%, which is a lot. There's arbitrage in this, by the way. I'm not going to explain it into detail, but just Google or look on crypto Twitter how to do arbitrage between funding rates on different exchanges. There's even dashboards publicly available to do this. You need to pay 0.2% too long here, and you need to pay 0.01% on Bybit. You can short here and long here. Have a delta neutral position, and you get paid the difference between this and this.
So, what are we looking for before we invest in XPL? We need the funding to go negative or way less funding?
Ideally, you have a negative funding rate like this here, where it like dips a little and it marks a bottom. That's ideally what you look for, but it is so young. It's hard to say. I think not to put too much value into funding rate with a coin that is this young. You could apply this to Bitcoin and you'll probably be right, but with a younger coin like this, it's hard.
But it has some truth behind it, because like I showed in my video, that the mind share is at the highest point. So it's the #1 mind share on crypto Twitter at the moment. So everyone is talking about it, and most of the people that I see talking about it are still bullish and are wanting to long the bottom. So I think until we see that fading, you might have to wait for an entry.
Yeah,
and that's what's showing on the OI charts. It's what I mean.
If you don't have an allocation yet, I would buy a little here. It doesn't need to be 100%, doesn't need to be 50%, but you need to have a little allocation. Just in case if it does like rocket off for some reason, that you are not left behind. because buying at twice the price is a bad feeling, even if you have zero allocation. Yeah, that's plasma for me.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to share, is the thing that I posted in Discord this morning is that this guy Links, and I don't think he's lying, that he was offered 250K to promote ASTER, and that apparently a lot of other calls got the same deal, and they had to act that it wasn't the promo and that they believed in it and they were gonna size it very much. So that's the thing. So I think this is one of the reasons that ASTER is going up, because every call on crypto Twitter that has a little bit of followers is killing this. So of course the price is going to go up. They paid probably millions of dollars. The ASTER team probably paid millions of dollars to calls to pump the token. That's why I'm a little bit hesitant to buy it at the moment, because this is probably true what he's saying. There's nothing wrong with it. ASTER is not a scam project or anything. But maybe this pump is a little bit fake and not. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, it's Binance/CZ that's behind it, right? So it's definitely not like a scam. It's
No,
definitely
it's not a scam, but
there's definitely wash trading volume going on, because it's like 10 times what Hyperliquid is doing, I think. And that's just to dominate the volume charts. And if a newbie opens the volume chart and they look, wow, this thing has twice or 10 times the volume than Hyperliquid, I'm going to go trade there instead of Hyperliquid. That's the only reason they're doing it and doing the wash trading. Wash trading is, by the way, super illegal. If you have a regulatory framework like you have in traditional finance, you would go to jail pretty fast. I'm gonna stay away from it. I feel like it's a meta that I missed, and I'll stay away from it until our hand is forced to join. Just like I think our hand is forced to join the stablecoin meta. Like you explained in your video, like you said last week, you need to have allocation to stablecoin meta, period.
Yeah, but the difference is, and this is the most important difference, is you need to have allocation to stablecoin meta, like I said, but there isn't that much to allocate into. So if you want to invest in the stablecoin narrative at the moment, there's only ENA. You can buy Circle stock, and now you can buy XPL. These are the only things you can buy. Maybe you can buy Coinbase as well, stock, for example. But in crypto, only ENA and XPL. For example, if you want to buy a DEX stock, there are so many. They don't have the first mover advantage. It's probably not even the best product. There are so many. The only good thing is that CZ is behind it, Binance is behind it, and it will go well. But if you look at the fully diluted valuation, maybe I'll show it this way to show it's a bit bigger. It's already 16 billion fully diluted valuation. So how high can it go? Maybe it goes to the same valuation as Hyperliquid. Let me check what that is. I think that's 50. It's already also super high. I think it's 50 billion. Yeah. So to me, this is super high. In my opinion, this cannot really go higher. Let's say this goes to 100 billion fully diluted valuation. What the fuck? What would that be? That would be crazy.
But it's dollars, right? I opened up with welcome to the basement trader era. The dollar is shrinking. We've talked about this on stream a lot of times. The Trump's goal is to devaluate the dollar. So a fully diluted value number doesn't hold much value if the dollar is constantly diluting. What you should do is compare it to other assets like gold, but I don't think you can do that on the CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. So for anyone watching, if you want a product idea, make a CoinMarketCap that's where you can look at your statistics compared to gold instead of dollars. You can probably vibe code it in a day.
So we got G Armo in chat that says, I got into ASTER at 40 cents. So congrats, man. Next time, share it in the Discord so we can buy it as well.
Exactly.
But,
I share all my stocks and do a deep dive on the stocks that I buy when you're on the subscribed member. And I post AI slump to deep dive in the stocks and what they do and what their market share is. And you just don't post anything that hurts.
All right. So if you don't have anything more to say, Zirko, we can do our predictions. All right, so let me show this screen. So you won. So it's your first point this this year. Well, not this year, from September.
Yep, since we started again.
All right, so you start. Where do you think Bitcoin is going to be next week?
I'll start by saying what I say every time we do predictions. It's very hard to predict for a 7-day future. Let's do 116.5, which is where the Kumo cross is. I think maybe a little retest. Yeah, on the
this one.
Yeah, there. You know what would be cool? Don't know if it's viable on the chart. Is that we let our previous predictions stand, and that we can see where we were last time. $5,000 or $6,000 retracement.
Yeah, you think we're gonna go down 5%?
No, we might see 5% down, but not. It will be recovered by that Saturday. I'll make it higher. Make it 100. Just put it where we are now, 122.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Will we break all-time highs or not by next week? That's just the thing, because at the moment we're floating around all-time high, so that's super difficult, super difficult. I think we're gonna go down a little bit. We're gonna range because there's not a real big catalyst coming up. It's super difficult. I'm gonna be here. This range, I like this range. Okay. JRM just said that the market cap between Hype and ASTER is still huge, and that you got a valid point. But what I was saying is, I don't think Hype is gonna go up much more. So yeah, maybe ASTER can do 2x. Maybe I need to look into it a little bit more, to be honest. But you got a very good point.
If I would allocate towards ASTER, I would go towards BNB chain, and then I'm thinking stuff like Cake. I think I posted that 1 or 2 days ago.
I asked you. So you posted Cake in the Discord that you said it might be a good opportunity, but are they still building? That was my question. I don't know if you know.
I think they're
Are they still developing teams? Are they still around?
I think so. Yeah, I think they're at token 2049, for example, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
okay. I have to look into it as well.
It's something that the very early members of our Discords all got into, like Dumpty and Aaron got into Cake when it was listed at Binance. I think we printed a lot during that meta on Binance.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. So
sounds good.
As always, everyone, thank you very much for coming on. Zero Cool, thank you very much for coming on. If you guys have any questions, come by next week. So we are here every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central European time. If you haven't yet watched my latest video about XPL, I really think it's a very promising project. I really think it's a good project to DCA in for over the long term, because like we said, stablecoins will be the biggest sector in crypto for the coming months, or maybe for the coming years even. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Laters.